What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Welcome back to the Respawn, where I answer your questions. Today we're going to be talking a little more about Blizzcon and hero balancing for Reaper, Symetra, Mercy, and more. First question of the day is about BlizzCon. What can we expect to see for the upcoming convention, which, by the way, is less than a month away. November 2nd and 3rd is when it happens this year. So the first thing, 100% there will be a new hero that gets announced. This happens every single year, and Blizzard has it blocked away so that, you have one hero in the beginning of the year, you have another one in the middle, and then you have the third one, which is announced towards the end of the year at BlizzCon. So new hero, 100% expect to see that. There's a chance we can also get an animated short. Who it would be about, I have absolutely no idea. There's a chance we could get a new map, but we did just get Busan, so I'm kind of not really sure about that. I do think some of the big announcements are going to be what's planned for happening next year, and I think there's two things. First is going to be the announcement of the demo or the replay system that's going to be added at some point early next spring, because it was leaked that they have finished a version of it that is going to be available for the Overwatch League Season 2, and maybe at some point early spring we'll also have it available for all the players. So I think that's a possibility. They may officially announce that. Another thing is whatever that new social update thing that they've been working on, they were supposed to release it earlier in the fall, but they said that it was taking way too long and there was a lot of kind of hiccups that they ran into, so they had to delay it. I think they're going to announce that at BlizzCon as well. Next up, why does Deathmatch consistently send me into Master Grandmaster matches, even though I'm a Platinum? It's not a big deal since I do make top 3 2/3 of the time. Well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is, mechanically, you're probably playing at a Master or a Grandmaster level, because there's no objective, there's no team, it's pure skill in order to just get the eliminations, and whoever is the better player is going to get that. However, the bad news is, if you're still in Platinum, chances are your game sense is pretty bad, which means that while you're able to actually hit the things you need to hit, you're probably overextending, you're probably out of position quite a bit, and you're dying a lot, which is kind of limiting your effectiveness. When you have no health, when you're waiting for the respawn, you do 0 damage. So I think that's probably what your issue is, and if you're able to resolve that and probably address some of those problems, you'll be able to rank up to Master and Grandmaster no problem. What's the criteria for the questions in the respawn? It needs to be interesting, and it can't be something that I've already answered in a previous video. I get repeat questions all the time. In fact, I think I probably need to make a frequently asked version of the respawn where I just take all those commonly asked questions, put it in that one video, and then I can just refer people to that. Like, why isn't there a PTR on the console? Why are you called Blame the Controller if you play on PC? Why is it that you use numbers for your abilities instead of the default stuff? I've already answered all that stuff in previous videos, so I don't want to keep going over it. And then some of the other questions are just really dull, like, do you think such and such needs a nerf, or such and such needs a buff? Like, yeah, I can answer those questions. In fact, I'm going to address some of those issues later today. But, it's a little bit better if you ask more specific things about, how certain interaction works, or whatever it happens to be. But just kind of the bland questions, I just skip over those. Other types of questions that I put in the videos are ones that have a very quick answer that are often informative to the audience. For example, like this one. Can Ana's bio grenade damage destroy Sim or Torb turrets? Yes, it can, because it deals the damage. The anti-effect does absolutely nothing to the turrets, but they still take the damage. When will you do your Hero 29 prediction? Probably in the next week or two, because, as mentioned earlier, BlizzCon is right around the corner, so I've been trying to think about what they're going to do. The recent Torb rework kind of threw me off on what I was actually thinking they were going to do. So I need a little bit more time to kind of figure it out, but it will be coming out soon. What modifications should Reaper receive in order to appear more often at the higher levels? The reason why he's not played in the upper brackets that much is because he just doesn't do enough to really compete with some of the other DPS. So there's really 3 issues that I can think right off the top of my head. The first is that his teleport is garbage. Second is his ultimate is lackluster, and it's a really slow over time ability. And compared to other damage abilities for the ultimates, it just doesn't even come close. And third, he doesn't have any buttons to press when you're actually in a fight. You can't use the teleport during combat because you'll just get destroyed, and the Wraith form is just more of an escape mechanism than anything. He doesn't have anything like a Helix rocket or the remotes or the concussives or like really anything to use in the fight to actually deal damage. So I think really they might want to just get rid of the teleport and maybe give him something that he can actually use in the fight. Would your predictions for the Halloween event be different if the icons weren't accidentally leaked? Some of them yes, some of them no. I tend to be pretty accurate with my predictions either way. For example, in the most recent Summer Games, I was extremely accurate for not just the characters, but the theme and the type of the character skins that they were going to get. So yeah, it probably would have been a little bit different, but for example, Moira was going on my list no matter what, and I was going to have her down for getting a legendary for the Halloween Terror. The fact that it got leaked in the achievement thing just kind of like cemented that in, like, okay, yeah, we're definitely getting it. Is Mercy viable in high ranks? If not, what other healers are the best? She definitely is still viable as a character in the lower ranks and in the upper ranks. It's just in the upper ranks, she gets really outshined by some of the other healers. So she can be used, but you're probably better off using either an Ana or a Moira, depending on what sort of team comp you're going to have. And then for the off healers, the Zenyatta and the Lucio are definitely going to be good. If you're running goats, the triple tank, triple support, you can also throw a Brigitte in there as well. So it's not that she's necessarily bad, it's just she's not as good as the other stuff. When Mei shoots her primary fire on a wall or floor, it shows a trail of ice. Should Mei be able to slide or move faster when on a trail of ice, similar to her highlight intro? Basically, Iceman from the X-Men comics. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think they should go in the exact opposite direction and turn her into a full-on tank character. What you're suggesting is making her into a highly mobile DPS, and I don't think that really would work well with her current skill set. They would have to like completely rework the character in order for that to happen. And just, I don't think that she should be a mobile DPS. I think she would be better with more tanky type qualities. Did you know about the Hammond Dorado Easter egg? You're talking about when you hit the bells in the correct order, Hammond will sing the Overwatch theme. We got 2 about Symetra. Do you think Symetra is fine where she is? If not, what would you add, remove to make her a vital and useful pick? I think Symetra needs a little bit of a buff to start with, but the main problem with the character as she is now is she suffers from the same thing that Sombra used to have, where it requires a tremendous amount of team coordination in order for the character to be effective. Other DPS can just kind of do their DPS thing and be effective. But with Symetra, you have to have a lot more team coordination, and otherwise it's just not going to work. So I think they need to kind of move a little bit away from that like they did with Sombra and make her just more DPS where she can just function on her own and be a benefit to her team, but not have to fully rely on them in order to actually be effective. Will there ever be a hero with 2 completely different ultimates? Yes, it's already happened. It was Symetra 2.0, and it was garbage. That's going to be all the questions for this week, and quick reminder, the Halloween Terror event will start in 2 days. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.